The Asian Peacebuilders Scholarship Program is a shared initiative of the Nippon Foundation, the University for Peace, and the Ateneo de Manila University. The dual degree program endeavors to train Asian professionals to become peace-building practitioners and development workers ready to take up leading positions in organizations across the globe. Ateneo's Department of Sociology and Anthropology of the Loyola School's School of Social Sciences provides students with innovative thinking skills needed in taking direct action and creating high-impact solutions to the complex issues of equity, justice, and peace confronting the communities and peoples of the Global South. The degree Master in Transdisciplinary Social Development, offered to the APS scholars, underscores the transdisciplinary value of cooperatively producing knowledge, participatory means of building capacities, mutual modes of determining ownership, and intergenerational sharing of benefits with and among the subjects of development. The first cohort of APS scholars under the MTS Dev program exhibited competence in designing, planning, and implementing capstone projects with the active and meaningful participation of the diverse subjects, agents, experts, and community members. The Asian Peacebuilders of 2021, APS Cohort 14, conducted their capstone projects in various parts of Asia despite the challenges of the global pandemic. 3 capstone projects tackled issues of human rights, peace settlement, and violent extremism. There were 2 projects that looked into community-based tourism, while 2 others focused on agriculture, the youth, and rural development.
Since its independence in 1945, Indonesia has a long history of human rights abuses, such as torture, gender-based violence, awful killing, and other many types. Many local NGOs, international organizations, and local community people also tackled this problem in many ways. However, because of the lack of resources and limited cooperative relationships among the actors, the society could not establish an effective monitoring system and also reporting system to stop human rights abuse cases. We identify and clarify the core issues with our local partners, such as a lack of visualized monitoring system on the internet and an accessible and helpful reporting system for students. Co-creation and co-production with our local partners, Contrast and Tempo, are essential to make this Mandala project happen. Contrast is a non-governmental organization to monitor human rights issues and handle cases of enforced disappearances and victims of state violence in Indonesia. Since 1998 of its establishment, it has worked to realize democracy and freedom from human rights violations, including the gender-based violence, so that they stored a dataset regarding human rights abuse cases throughout the country. On the other hand, Tempo is a mainstream Indonesian news portal established against authoritarianism. Hence, without combining Contrast dataset and Tempo's digital skills and practical knowledge, there is no way to build the Mandala website that monitors, reports, and analyzes the human rights abuses in a participatory way in Indonesia.
I think it's important for peace builders to have the willingness and capacity to respond to surprises. Willingness means that peace builders need to have a flexible mental capacity when responding to new dynamics, especially during the implementation phase of a project. Ability means that once peace builders accept the new dynamics, they could reassess the situation and reconfigure the approach of the project by obviously putting the local partners and local beneficiaries' interests front and center. However, I believe that it is also vital for peace builders to strike a balance between facilitating the interests and needs of local partners and beneficiaries on one hand, and on the other hand, the projects and the peace builders' initial mandate and resources. If the peace builders' initial mandate or resources cannot adapt to the new situation, to the new surprises, or it could not afford the interests of the local partners and beneficiaries, peace builders need to be transparent to their local partners and beneficiaries regarding their own conditions.
Is a territorially based bilateral pact among Kalinga tribes who live in the Cordillera Administrative Region located in the northern part of the Luzon Island. Budon's objective is to maintain peace and stability within their territories and create bonds of amity. Like many other functions in societies, Budon has been dominated by men for centuries, and most of the previous studies were focused on their roles. Moreover, less interest is shown to Budon in general because younger Kalinga generations are becoming less and less aware of its processes due to their exposure to mainstream justice systems. Through this Capstone project, we aim at benefiting the people of Kalinga and their posterity by documenting an aspect of the Budon process, increasing the level of awareness of the public, especially the younger generations of Kalinga, on Budon and the roles of women, and contributing in preserving the practice of the indigenous justice system.
The local partners were lady lawyers who are all members of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines Kalinga chapter and come from various Kalinga subtribes. One local partner heads the provincial office of the NCIP, one is a private law practitioner, and the third is a city councillor who was one of the drafters of the Yitabuk Pakta. In various capacities, all are engaged in promoting indigenous and women's rights as well as cultural preservation. Therefore, based on their backgrounds and the theme of our Capstone project, we think that they are the most suitable people to be our local partners. However, we also have engaged other members of Kalinga society, which include the peacebuilders, elders, Kalinga youth, and government employees.
Indigenous women have very important roles to play in achieving peace by adhering to their traditional and shared values as a community, and at the same time being sensitive to the demands of their evolving society. As peace builder, it is vital for us to understand these nuances on how indigenous peoples, particularly women, deal with issues that affect them. It is likewise important that we recognize the need for them to acquire space where they can manifest their skills in managing their concerns, which include conflict resolution and peace building. In this Capstone project, it is our hope that our co-produced output will not just be seen as an effort to showcase the participation of Kalinga women in Budong. It is also a gesture and an indication of our serious appreciation and recognition of their significant roles in peace building and dispute settlement. Kalinga women evoke an aura of gold. Their radiance should thus be allowed to disperse by giving them wider platforms to shine as they demonstrate their full potential in achieving a more peaceful and progressive Kalinga society.
We focus on the rising violent extremism among the youth in Sri Lanka as the prevailing social problem. We understand that prevention of violent extremism activities cannot be one-off activity but has to be embedded in the community as an ongoing collective practice, and such mechanisms requires a strong community ownership. According to the partners, peace actors are hesitant to initiate PVE interventions in fear that they will fall into the same pitfall of lack of community ownership once the initial stage is done. In this project, we explored the importance of enabling communities to carry out their own context, location-specific conflict analysis instead of organizations commissioning technical experts. We believe that engaging communities from the very initial stage of conflict analysis is the way forward to build a strong community ownership. We wanted to work with partners who are focusing on PVE as well as established and competent enough to disseminate this knowledge to a wider circle of NGOs, CBOs and communities, as we do not directly work with communities in this project. The two partners, National Peace Council and Center for Communication and Training, are two prominent NGOs in Sri Lanka. They have a well-established island-wide network of conflict mitigation groups at both civil society and community level. And most importantly, they believe in the community-driven approaches in peace building.
It was interesting learning opportunity to actually imagine and discuss how the theories we learn can apply on the ground, and having input from our partner organizations were very precious. And it was also challenging but great opportunity to design and implement a project in hybrid, and the process of brainstorming and how we can better adapt online setting and what we should take into consideration, and are also a great practical lesson that we learned.
For our project, tourism is not only about enjoying leisure time, but also about building an inclusive society. Our team members who came from different states in Myanmar and Japan had a deep emotional tie with the people of the Danu self-administered zone. We are fascinated by the attraction of Danu, but at the same time, we found the challenges of the community-based tourism, which aims to provide equitable benefits to the community. To tackle the complex challenges, we designed to bring together diverse people to work on tourism development from sustainability, responsive management, conflict studies, and human rights. Then we engaged how we could organize a system that enables multiple stakeholders to participate in and fully benefit from the tourism development.
Our project partner is MRTI, Myanmar Responsible Tourism Institute. Without our partner, our project would not be successful. After our team decided to contribute the community-based tourism in the new land, we did active mapping, and we found that the project team and the partner, we share a lot in goal, vision, and values of sustainability, responsibilities, and co-production practices. Beyond their expertise, they have wide network and good reputations among stakeholders in tourism sector in Myanmar. Their professional knowledge, experience, and network have contributed a lot in project implementation of our Capstone project in this global pandemic situation.
I am fortunate to meet so many passionate people through this project. They impressed me that there is always something can be done even in the tremendous adversity such as pandemics and coup d'etat. I realized the importance of setting a safe place to talk with the most passionate and vulnerable people instead of assuming it was impossible. As peace builders, we will face a desperate situation in the future. Even then, this experience must support me to keep going.
Vietnam has been experiencing a wave of mass tourism, which brought about economic development, but also negative impacts on the environment and vulnerable people, especially people of ethnic minorities. Recently, community-based tourism, or CBT, has been emerging as a more sustainable alternative to mass tourism, normally in the form of an external organization coming to support a local community. However, if not done carefully, the power imbalance between these two groups might do more harm than good to the community. Therefore, with our backgrounds in transdisciplinary social development and responsible economic management, we wish to contribute to enhancing CBT activities in Vietnam so that they will truly bring benefits to people of ethnic minorities and the environment. So 2 years ago, I had a chance to visit Thai village, a small community of Thai people located in a beautiful mountainous area in the north of Vietnam. And I was so impressed by the work of Kapha Friends, or KPF, a non-profit organization, which has been supporting the village in education, environmental protection, and CBT development since 2018. However, KPF shared with us that they have been struggling to truly engage with the community due to the lack of participation. Since their work in the community has a lot of potential, not only to generate extra income for the village, but also to conserve natural landscape and valuable cultural practice, we wish to support KPF and the community to improve their partnerships through participatory development. Even though participatory community development was one of the key lessons that we learned from the Department of Sociology and Anthropology, the actual implementation of it was very challenging, especially when we couldn't be together physically due to the pandemic. As we mentioned in our report, knowing is different from being. Both our partner and we knew that we should listen to and respect each other and the community. But it was hard when there were opinions which went against our own. As peace builders, it is really important for us to stay humble and respectful, to truly acknowledge people's realities, and to move forward in the participatory manner. On the other hand, being sensitive, flexible, and adaptable while staying connected to our values is also very important to overcome difficulties and meet our goals, especially in this time of uncertainties.
Our group wanted to explore food security issues in Thailand to find out if there were any problems related to food resilience in local communities. After talking to the selected community, we found out that they already had a lot of activities on food security led by the local government, but we did not see a lot of youth participation in these programs. So we saw this gap and designed our Capstone project as a platform to increase youth participation as well as awareness in food security in their local community. Considering a short amount of time we had to design and conduct this project, we thought about this community because our group member already had a strong connection with the partners, which was a very important first step to instantly establish communication and discuss the details of the project. After talking with the partners, we were even more confident that this project would directly benefit the community as well, because there was a clear intention from them from the start that they wanted to improve youth participation in food resilience as well. So our team and the community were on the same page from the start, and they were happy with the idea that they had an important role to co-produce this project with us.
So one of the biggest challenges that we faced was engagement with the youth, who were our main beneficiaries and our main partners as well. And part of it that we saw was the digital mode and the difficulties with that, as well as the lack of interest on the part of the youth in topics that we were trying to engage them in, such as nutrition. So to address these, we had a couple of key takeaways. One of them was building meaningful relationships in order to foster more interest, as well as tapping into their networks to see what their interests are in terms of what is relevant to them at the moment. We believe that would stoke interest. And finally, for the digital mode, we believe that the youth themselves hold the answers to what would be most effective in terms of creative strategies that would facilitate more meaningful connection on the digital platform.
Across the world, the average age of young farmers is increasing. In the Philippines, the average age is estimated to be 57. This demographic trend signals youth leaving agriculture. This youth exodus causes concerns among actors in agriculture and rural development on the generational sustainability of family farming.
Coupled with other risks such as climate change, this social problem puts immense pressure on the agro-food system and threatens food security. In Camarines Sur, farmer-led cooperatives Golden Parauma Agriculture Cooperative and Pamplona Esperanza Riverside Agricultural Cooperative, who are members of Pambansang Kilusan ng mga Samahang Magsasaka or Pakisama, have pushed for greater involvement and participation of young farmers in the activities of their cooperatives. We chose them as partners as we believe in the power of organized farmers' communities. At the same time, these cooperatives recognize youth as the future of family farming, which presents to us an opportunity to develop a project.
In brief, we wanted to expand opportunities for youth in rural areas for young people to be agents in sustaining farming, promoting innovation, and improving farmers' position in the agri-value chain. In this regard, social entrepreneurship and cooperativism are, for us, considered key strategy in restructuring the rural opportunity space to benefit youth in this area. That is why our project offered a capacity building program about social entrepreneurship to young farmers, where we saw a potential to address a social problem relevant to our partners.
For positive peace to be attained, intergenerational relations must be fair and just. We realized rural youth experience inequities in rural spaces on multiple fronts: the absence of rights to land and resources, exclusion from decision-making, and discrimination against young farmers. We share the hope of our partner communities that we will see more opportunities for youth in agriculture, not only to sustain our agro-food system, but also to achieve a more genuine peace, a kind of peace where all generations are given equal opportunities to attain the life they desire.
Cambodian women suffer from the negative impact from the rigid gender norm and role in the society. Our Capstone project focused on the especially women economic empowerment. Through improving and promoting the Women Economic Empowerment project conducted by a local NGO, we addressed the gender issues in Cambodia.
As a Cambodian student, I have a privilege to learn many theories of gender and development and its approach from both universities. For instance, like Ateneo, the Manila universities, and the University for Peace through the Asian Peacebuilders scholarship programs. Most importantly, co-creation, co-productions, co-ownership, and development from the bottom-up approach. Besides, I have a great opportunity to implementations, especially the Capstone project, to brought this theory to practice with those local partners. Through the program, I work with the community development that is the best practice because I can obtain the theory to practice from the bottom up. As a peace builder, I work to create many opportunities for everyone who has their experts, even big or small scale, who can contribute their knowledge, results to community and the gender and development.
One of our teammates, Monivan, has a relationship with a member of our partner organization, CWCC, which is supporting vulnerable females in Cambodian communities. So we decided to collaborate with them. And we believed that we could contribute to their project by evaluating their project objectively, collecting voices of the savings groups. coming up with solutions and actions together, and reflecting them on their ongoing project or one for the future.
Current conditions demand new thinking and practices of development and peace that are non-dualistic, disjointed, and disconnected, but more collaborative, co-creative, and co-beneficial to both proponent and subjects of development. The 8 capstone projects of APS 14 are proof that the scholars have developed the aptitude in directing, managing, and deliver multiple interventions in different conditions and settings while closely adhering to the transdisciplinary principles of collaboration, co-benefits, and co-ownership of processes and outcomes of development.